with Art Classes for Kids, and we're about to dive into an awesome clay sculpting project that's part of the art series sponsored by Blackwing Foundation's Pathways to Creativity. Now, this one is inspired by the famous artist Pablo Picasso. Maybe many of you have heard of him, but maybe his name is brand new to you. And if it is, I'm going to be telling you all about him. And for those who have heard of him, maybe I'm going to tell you a few things you didn't know about him. All while we make a really fun clay sculpture. This is what it's going to look a little bit like. This is a clay bust. It's just from the shoulders up. So it's going to be shoulders, neck, head, and if you want to decorate it with a hat or have some updo or whatever, you can always add that. So what we're going to do is make sure we have all of our supplies before we get started. Now, this video can be paused at any time just by pressing pause, and then when you're ready to join me again, just push play. Okay, let's see what we're gonna need to make this awesome sculpture. First of all, we're gonna need a foam core base. This one's 5 inches by 5 inches white, and you'll get a little label that you get to write your name on and the date, just so that you know whose it is and when you made it. Next, we're gonna be using 4 packets of white Model Magic. Each one is 1 ounce, and this is what we're gonna be creating with. This, if you haven't used it before, is a lot like sculpting with marshmallow. And then we've got a pencil, Blackwing pencil. We've also got a Sharpie and a glue stick, some scissors, and to color it, we're going to be using paint today. We've got watercolors, a water jar, and a paper towel. It already comes with a paintbrush, but if your paint set doesn't have a paintbrush with it, just make sure you go get one.
Be sure to pause the video here and gather your supplies if you haven't already. Then unpause when you're ready to begin.
Everything you see here is everything you're going to need in order to make this awesome sculpture. Okay, I'm moving my things out of the way just so that we can keep it simple. At the beginning, all you're going to need is the pencil, the label, the glue stick, and the base. I'm going to get my name on it and today's date. Make sure you've got that date on there because one day you're gonna look back and wanna know when you made it so you can figure out how old you were when you made it. Put a little glue on the back, whoops, and just go ahead and press it on to one side of the base, then flip it over, and you're ready to go. You won't be needing this for a while, or the pencil. Now we've got 4 packs of clay. We are going to take the first packet of clay, cut it open with our scissors, and start kneading the clay. Now, to knead the clay, what you'll do is pretty much stretch it and stack it. What we're trying to do is get it into a smooth texture, get it warmed up so it's more pliable, like it can do more of what you would like it to do. So it's gonna be easier to shape if you get it warm and smooth. Now we're gonna build our clay bust in sections. And you notice I refer to it as a bust. Well, a bust is a classical form of sculpting that's been around for thousands of years. All since, like, I don't know, Queen Nefertiti to the Greek Roman sculptures, Greeks and Roman sculptures, they had lots of busts. And we also have them modern day, lots of presidents have busts made of them. Now, what we're gonna do with this clay, once you get it nice and warm and smooth, is we're gonna build the shoulders and the neck. So what I do is I take my base, I set my clay on it, and I make a little mountain with my clay. And I kinda squeeze it to the top to make a little neck that sticks up. Kinda like this. Just like this. See, it looks about the same backwards as forwards. And that's step one. Pretty simple. Now we're going to open package number 2. Now remember, if I'm moving too fast for you, you can always pause it and then press play when you're ready to join in. Okay, let's open our second packet. We're moving kind of fast to sculpt because we need lots of time to draw and paint on it. Okay. So our second packet, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to knead it, get it warm and smooth. So just kind of, I usually just kind of rip it and stack it for a while. The heat from your hands is what's getting it warm. So if you roll it in your hands, it's going to get warmer than if you roll it on the table because your hands have body heat, right? Okay, so we get it rolled all up. Let's do that one more time. Okay. Now, if you'll notice behind me, we've got little sketches of Picasso-style portraits. Picasso was known for his style, and he originally actually started out doing realism, but he was a child prodigy. That means he was the type of kid who was really advanced in his skills when he was young, whether that would be in music or in dance, but with him it was in art. So he was a child prodigy of art. He could draw realistic things when he was a teen. And when he got a little older, when he was maybe 19 or 20, he started experimenting with making things not so real and using his imagination more. So he created this style, which he was mostly famous for, called Cubism, which is a form of abstract art. He's probably the most famous abstract artist. So now once you get a ball, get that ball really nice and warm. Then you're going to take that ball and you're going to smash it. It's going to be thicker than a pancake, and it's going to be about like this. We're going to make it kind of thin and like this, rather than a sphere. And we're going to do something that Picasso does all the time, which is have the nose off to the side. He didn't do it in all his sculptures, but he did it in many. And he also, we are doing the style of just a bust, which is just the neck and the shoulders and the head. So when he did that, you really saw his Cubism style. Here are a few other pictures of his art where you can see where the nose is on the side, but then the eyes are both forward. You see that in so many of his works of art. We're going to do that style. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and we're going to have an overhead view to make it easier for you. I'm going to push in one little part of the circle, and then right above it where it sticks out, I'm going to make that the nose or the profile. See how this looks like a nose sideways? Then later we'll put a couple of eyes on this side. Now if we want to have a chin, we can shape that a little, or if we want to have a forehead stick out more. So you just make it, kind of looks like a moon face. So get a shape going like that, and then this shape is going to go right on top of our neck. Just hang out like that. Maybe I made my chin a little too long. I don't know, but there's going to be my head with my nose. I'm going to turn my nose down a little more and my head up. So I have a nose, and then I have the side below it that leads to the chin. And that's all you're going to do for the next part. So let me just review one more time. You roll a ball, you smash it pretty flat, but not as flat as a pancake. You press the side in till you have the part above it sticking out, and then you pinch it into a side profile nose. Profile meaning side view. Okay, so once you got that, we're ready to move on. So we've got that so far, and it's going to look more cubistic or look like the Cubism style once we draw on it. But we're going to get to that after we sculpt with all 4 packs of clay. So next, I'm going to get my next pack of clay, open it up, and this is going to be the hair, and maybe if I have some accessories on a shirt or something. So now I'm going to show you a couple different styles of hats. But first, let's knead this clay. Once you knead this clay, now this is our 3rd packet. I'm sure you've mastered the art of kneading this 1 ounce packet of white Model Magic. So now I get this going and I'm stretching, I'm stacking, I'm getting it nice and warm. And I'll show you a few different hats real quick. One hat could be a beret. A beret is just like a little dome. You know, it's like a French hat with a little point on the top. Like that. That could be like a beret. Or, let's take that off. Whoop, wants to stick, so I gotta take it off quick. I could teach you how to make a cowboy hat. Take this off, I make a round ball, and this one I make a pancake with. Like that. And then I take this and I roll this into a cylinder and flatten it. Then I push it in the center, like a cowboy hat, and I go like that. And then I pull the sides up. And that's kind of like a cowboy hat. Or I could do like a floppy hat with a flower. That would be similar. Cut that back off. So that one, I might make it a little bit bigger on the brim. Then I'll roll this in a ball. Actually, I need clay for a flower, so let me cut that off. Let's make my hat like this. So on the hat kind of like that, I make it flat. I make the top, maybe go like that. And then I make a flower. So it's whatever kind of flower you want to make. If you want to make kind of a cubistic flower, maybe it's not so perfect. It's more geometric shapes. Maybe I'll fold the ends so they're kind of squared up. And I'll make a little center. And maybe that's my little flower on the side. So you could have a hat with a little flower on it. Now, maybe you want a different kind of hat. Maybe you want a cap, like a baseball cap or something. So if I want a baseball cap, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a round ball. I'm gonna cut it in half so it's flat on the bottom, and then I'm gonna round it like a dome. Get it kind of smooth. Then I might take my scissors and make some lines in it. Oh, let me turn it. Yep. Then I'll take a little of this and make a little button for the top. Like that. And then I'll pull it down. Maybe you want it to have a little, like you can pull it down, you can make it have a little strap in the back for sizing it. So if I want to do that, I just cut some out. Like this. Use my fingers or my scissors. See, I have a little like strap in the back. And then a round hat. Now I need the brim. So for the brim, I'm gonna smash this down and I'm gonna stretch it out and curve it like a bean shape. Then I'm gonna put this on top of it like that. And now I have a cap. See? Now I can take that and put that on. A little cap. Okay, so there's all different kinds of hats, and that's where you get creative, making it your own. Oh my gosh, I just made hats and I said I was gonna make hair. But don't worry, you can make both. So we are gonna save this hat. I'm gonna save this hat. Then I'm going to show you hair next. So with my last piece, or my last package of Model Magic clay, I'm going to make hair. So this could be a guy's hair. First, I'm gonna knead it again. If I wanna have guy's hair that isn't very long, then maybe I just take a big piece like this and I just start cutting it like. Looks like fringe, right? Like a fringy skirt. I could put that around here. If he's gonna have a cap on, you're never gonna see the whole thing. So go like this, maybe I've got some sideburns. Maybe I'll put an ear over here. This looks really funny at first, but look, once I put the cap on, it looks like hair, you see? Okay, if I want to make long hair, pull all this off again. If I want to make long hair, I can do the same thing but make it longer, or I can roll out a bunch of snakes like this. And then cut them, and then stretch them. And then I can cut these again. Now I just have these single strands of long hair, and then what I can do is I can just have these go down and curve if I want. You see? So these ones I'm just sticking on and curling the ends. I can make a lot of these because I have plenty of clay for those. Okay. I think I am going to make a girl. Picasso mostly made portraits of women. Most of the women that he did portraits of were people he knew, and many of them were his wives. He was married many times, and each one of those wives seemed to be a muse for a while. A muse is somebody who inspires him to make art, and he also uses as a subject matter. That means they're the subject of a lot of his works of art. Okay, so this is going to be my hair. Maybe I'm not going to have a cap anymore. I'm not sure. But I've got all this crazy hair, and I'm going to have some bangs, I think. So bangs are going to be a little bit shorter. So I'll go ahead and cut some short pieces and make some bangs. Now I think my nose is a little too big. I'm going to trim that. And I'm going to pull my forehead out a little bit more. And I need room for my face. So I've got so much hair going on, I need to have some room for the face. Okay, I think that mine is looking pretty good now. I have extra clay. And now that I decided, I think I want to do a girl since I have all that long curly hair. I think I'm going to make her have a little collar. So I'm going to make 2 triangles. So I'm just going to press my clay and cut it. You can make whatever color you want, but I'm going to make 2 triangles, kind of like 2 mini slices of pizza right here and here. And then I'm going to put those in the front like that. That's the collar. And what else am I going to do? I'm gonna make the hat. So I decided I don't think I want the cap anymore, only because now I decided to make a girl. You can change your mind while you're working. You can always kind of go with the flow, and if all of a sudden you're creating something other than what your original idea was, that's okay, because this is art, and this is where you get imaginative. Okay, so I think I'll do a bucket hat. Do you know what a bucket hat is? A bucket hat is like, here, a bucket hat is like a cylinder on top, like a flat-ish cylinder. So first I make a ball, then I flatten it and I roll it on the side. I need it a little bigger than that, so I go like that. Then I need another piece that's going to be kind of like a cone, and then I flatten the top of it. So first I make a ball. Then I roll it into a cone by putting my palms, the pinky sides together, and I get a cone. Now I'm going to take my cone and keep smashing it down and down and down and down. And then I'm going to put this, oh, that's kind of a little bit big. I'm going to keep smashing my cone. Get it a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to make this here and blend it in. Does this look more like a bucket hat? Maybe. I'm going to thin out the edges and have it kind of turn downward. Okay, there's my bucket hat. Now I'm hoping it stays. So there's my figure. Before it looks very Cubism style, I've got it looking like a form with a neck. Well, the neck's a little buried, but that's okay. I've got a big chin that's burying it. I've got shoulders, I've got a collar, the face, hair, and a hat. It doesn't really matter which order you create everything in, just put the hat on last, because then if you don't want to have to pull it up to put the hair on it. Okay, so it's looking pretty good, I think, and I think we're ready to start drawing on it. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and push that play button, because the next section we're going to be drawing on it with the black Sharpie. Okay, now once you've got your sculpture form made, it's time to start with the eyes. I'm going to bring this in a little closer, and you can see this image and also this one, the Weeping Woman, one of his most famous paintings. You can see that, how the eyes look. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put one eye where you think an eye would normally be. I'm gonna put one eye right here, and it's going to look like the shape of a lemon or a football. Then I'm going to put a circle inside it and a pupil. There's my first eye. Looks like this. Next, what I'm going to do is give it an eyelid fold. So I'm going to give it a second line over the eye. And let me just pick an eye here that I think is cool. How about that one? That one has 2 lines under the bottom. It looks like upside down lips around the eye, like that. Now I'm going to do another eye. Now this eye could be a full eye, or an eye that looks like it's looking sideways. Or it could be a diamond eye, or it could be a circle with 2 triangles on the side. You decide. Go ahead and look at these pictures. You'll see this on the overhead camera, and pick a kind of eye you want. Now I'm gonna go with this eye that's looking out sideways, and it's above. It's a circle and a pupil, and it looks like this. I think I might give this one 2 eyelashes, and I think I'm going to give that one an eyebrow. So this is not realistic. This is an abstract. You can have an eye stacked up on top of an eye. Now when you're ready, if you like the way your nose is, keep it where it is. If you want it a little lower, stretch it down. I'm going to put the nostrils in. I see all different shaped nostrils. I like this one that looks like a sideways 8 or an infinity mark. Goes like this. 2 nostrils, just like this. And then I could go around them and outline them if I want. On the other side, I might add 1 nostril, because we still have to do the other side. We might go back and forth. You might have 1 eye over here. Then it looks like 3 eyes once you see the whole thing. And next we're going to do the lips. So we're gonna put the lips as close as we can to the edge that's just below the nose. So I'm gonna make the shape of an M, and I'm gonna go across, and I'm gonna make a smile. Looks kind of like a little sailboat. So I'll do that on both sides. And I think I want my chin to go in below the lips. So I'm gonna cut it, because it's still nice and soft clay. I'm gonna go like that, and I'm gonna have my chin stick out below it. So I just adjusted that like this. Now that's the face, but did you notice in all these pictures, there's more than 1 color in the face. Some have lots of skinny lines, Some have white, but just a black area. This one has green, blue, and a little bit of orange and green lips. So I think I might divide my face into a few sections, just like I have it here. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna divide my face, maybe under the eye. Maybe I'm gonna have an ear that I draw right here. Maybe I'm gonna outline the chin. And make an edge all around the inside of the face. And I'm going to make a line on the edge of the nose, the edge of the mouth, all the way down to the chin. Now I flip it over and I'm going to make another line all over here. And maybe I'll divide this face into a few different sections and put an eyebrow here. Maybe some eyelashes there. Maybe a dark nostril on this side. So now we've got the most important cubistic style on the face that's gonna make it have that Picasso look. Now everything else, you can just outline each part so you can see it a little better. Maybe I have a little shirt here with a button or two. Maybe my shirt has different colored sections that I might color in later. You can actually pick this up if you want, if you can get it off. Well, it's pretty stuck. If you can pick it up, you can work on it on your hands. You know, by just holding it in your hands. So now I'm just outlining everything. While we're outlining, let me tell you a little bit more about Picasso. Picasso was originally from Spain, but he lived most of his life in France because he really enjoyed it there. He was making art in the early 1900s until about the 1970s. He made a lot of art. He was one of the few artists to become a wealthy artist in his lifetime. So now I'm just outlining the edges of the hair. Just do the best. Don't worry about being perfect. In Picasso style, no one's ever going to be able to tell if you did something you didn't plan on. So there's pretty much no mistakes. Okay. Now once I get all these lines, and you see on this, sometimes you can have a lot of lines in one area. Maybe this area I have a lot of lines. In another area, maybe not as many. So you decide what it's gonna be like. Now, I'm gonna detail my hat. So to detail my hat, I'm gonna do the edge of my hat with a black line. So I define the shape. And I'm gonna go around the brim over here. And then on the top, I think I might have some shapes here. Maybe I'm just gonna make this be brightly colored with shapes. So see how I'm just breaking it into shapes? So now I've got all my lines. Ooh, could you use a few more lines over here? And where my hair is. One side I drew an ear, but I didn't do it on both because I just didn't feel like I needed it on both sides, but that's up to you. Alrighty, so mine is looking like this. Now mine is still a little bit top heavy, so I could smash it down so it's not so wobbly if I want. And next, we're going to paint it. Well, if you want to keep your base free of paint, then you're going to want to pull your sculpture off the base until it's done and then glue it back on at the end. But that's up to you. So I'm going to try to get mine off. It's still squishy enough for me to get off. So I just popped it right off. I think I'm going to hold it while I paint it because I don't want to have paint drips all over my base. But that's your call, okay? So now I'm going to lay it down. and I'm going to start painting it. So now we need our paper towel. I've got this here. We need our paper towel. We need our paints. Whoop, there went my glue stick. We got a jar of water. And what we're going to do next is start with the lightest colors. And watercolor is transparent. That means it's see-through. So if you use your lighter colors first, they're gonna show up really good. But if you don't use your light colors first, then if you want that color to show up on top of a dark color, it's not gonna show up so well. So let's start with the lightest color, which is yellow. So I'm going to get that all juicy, and I'm gonna start with some areas that I want to be yellow. I'm going to do a section of the face yellow, and I'm just gonna go around and paint things that I want to be yellow. You don't have to have all your hair one color. Your hair could be a couple of colors. It's up to you. You can just put colors everywhere. It's up to you. So I just put yellow here, and then I'm going to rinse out my brush, and I'm going to decide where do I want to paint next. Well, I think I'm going to do this whole side, then I think I'm gonna flip it over and do the other side. So since I'm doing that, I'm gonna go to the next color. I think the next darker color is going to be orange. So now I'm going to put, whoop, that was a little drippy. I'm gonna put some orange here. Oh, that's got too much water in it. Okay, some orange in the eyes. I might have my bottom lip orange. And now I'm going to, whoop, now I'm going to have a little bit of hair orange. Yeah, I think that this person's gonna have a lot of orange and yellow and pink hair. Okay, so I'm just painting along. Don't worry if you go over your black Sharpie lines, because they're still gonna show up because this paint is transparent. Okay, so next I'm going to another color. I think I'll try red now. Okay, so red, I'm gonna put a little red in the hair. Try not to have too much water in it so it's not too transparent. Okay, and here. And next I'm gonna start doing some cold colors like blue and green. So blue, I'm gonna do some blue on the face. Let's see, and in the nostrils, and then some blue here. And you can mix colors too. I can put a little green on the blue and have it be a blue-green, or just green. I think I'm going to change to purple now. Purple is the color right next to blue. Sometimes people think it looks black, but anyway, we've got some blue, purple here. Now that was pretty dark purple. Now I'm going to water it down and have a purple eye that's light purple, and a little light purple here. And I think I need like a yellowy orange. So let me mix that yellow and that orange. Oh, maybe that's too much. More yellow. Okay, so I'm going to have a darker yellow for the ear and for down here. And maybe I'm gonna have a light green right here. So you can create so many other colors just by mixing. Okay, I think I'm gonna have red on my top lip. And I think I'll have green, a light green for this eye. So I pretty much have this side all painted, but I'm gonna flip it over and do the other side. So go ahead and focus on putting the colors everywhere that you like. I'm starting with yellow on this side because I want that light color first. This side I'm going to zoom through a little faster. Let's get some red in here. Alrighty. So yeah, when you learn about different artists and different styles, it gives you the option to try new things. You know, no one wants to keep redoing the same kind of art over and over. So the more you learn about different artists, the more you open your mind to all different ways of doing things, just like in music. If you listen to different styles of music, you realize, wow, there's so many different types of music. In art, you can do realism, you can do abstract, you can do all the different styles, impressionism, pop art, everything. Okay, so we've got getting some purple in here. A little bit of, I'm gonna make some more of that yellow green. Okay, and now a little bit for the face, and a little bit of blue. Ooh, that's dark blue. Let me get a little more blue over here. Okay, so now I'm down to the lips, the eyebrow, a little bit of orange. Let's do this red a little darker. Okay, so I've got my sculpture's face, and I've got the hair and the shoulders. Now all that's left is the hat. I'm gonna go underneath it and add some color up here because I want the whole thing painted. Even though you don't see underneath the hat so much, you might. It depends on how you're looking at it. Okay, so let's do that. Flip it over to here. Get some more blue over here. And now all that's left is the top of the hat. So here I go, adding some colors. Some green. Yeah, I'm going to be using mostly cool colors on top. Okay. Hope you guys are doing well and enjoying this project. I'm having fun painting. And if you love art, we've got so many more projects that you can check out on our YouTube channel, which is Art Classes for Kids on YouTube. Look for the little handprint. We also will be teaching more sculpting projects throughout the year. Okay, I can't wait to see how yours turned out. Okay. Ooh, only a few spaces left. Let's see. Blue and blue. Okay, I think I've got mine all painted. I'm not sure if you've got yours painted, but mine's all painted. It's still a little soft and squishy, but don't worry about that. This clay is going to be completely dried within about 24 hours. So now I need to put it back on my base, but I want it to stay. So I'm gonna put a little glue on my base. Then I'm going to pick up my sculpture and set it on my base. Then I'm going to take a look at it while it's still soft and see if I want to change anything. Do I want to turn it? Do I want my hat up higher? Do I want to squish it down? Do I want to pull the hair out a little to the side? Do I want to turn this a little? I can decide all that. See, I'm going to squish mine so it's kind of a little bit turned. Ooh, I like that. So now I'm going to shut my paints, rinse out my paintbrush. Oh, I usually rinse out my tray too. Keep it clean for the next person. shut that. Move all my supplies over. We've got our Picasso imagery right here. We've got our original bust sculpture, and then we've got this one right here. Some of our examples of his artwork. And this one turned out just like this. Now, I can't wait to see how yours turned out. And I know you're thinking, you're just the teacher on the video. How are you gonna see our art? Well, let me tell you, you could actually snap a photo of it and you could post it on Instagram and tag it with Art Classes for Kids. I could see it that way. Or you could email me a picture to info@artclassesforkids.com so that I could see just how yours turned out. I hope you enjoyed sculpting with me, and I hope you make lots more art on your own. Until I see you next, keep making cool art.